Hello students, today we are going to discuss about the third part of grade 6 chapter number 4 sorting materials into groups. Okay, in this topic we will discuss about properties of material. What are the properties of material? There are several properties in which the first one is luster. What is luster? So it is a sign of a material, a specific sign, or due to this property, some metals are used to make jewelries like gold, like silver. You know that. We can say that luster is a specific sign in which I told you that some precious metal, that is gold, silver, can use to make jewelries. Okay, so next is hardness. What is hardness? Some materials are hard and some are soft, in which metals, normally metals are very hard, we can say that, but a material named diamond is the hardest in nature, is the hardest in nature, and we can say that diamond is hardest. I wrote it. I can diamond is a hardest material. Okay, we can say that chalk uh, with the help of chalk we write on the blackboard, so chalk is a little bit soft. Okay, so we can easily break the chalk, and some wood like sesame, teak is also very hard woods, and cotton cotton is very fluffy, very soft. Why? Because it contain it it traps a lot of air in it. So this is, cotton is very soft in nature, so this is hardness and softness, we can say that. And going to our next point, that is color. Natural materials have their characteristic color, because every material has its own color, in which we can say that gold has a yellow color. Okay, silver has a little bit whiter, and the copper has a reddish brown color. Copper has a reddish brown color. Hence we can see that every material has its own characteristic color. So, and the next is solubility. Solubility means to dissolve something into another material, in which we will study about soluble substances, in which insoluble substances. So, if we talk about solid that can dissolve in water, remember that if we talk about the solid that can dissolve in water, then we can specify the soluble and insoluble. What is soluble and insoluble substances? The solid that can easily dissolve in water. The solid that can easily dissolve in water, that is called soluble substances. That is called soluble substance. What is the example? We can say that common salt, that we use the common salt in our home, in our domestic use, to eat, to make food. Some sugar is also soluble, because these are soluble in water. And when we talk about insoluble materials, that the substance that cannot easily dissolve and that cannot dissolve in water, that is called insoluble substance, in which stone, chalk powder. You can pause the video and write the definition of each and every one. stone, chalk powder, clay, and we can say that soil that cannot dissolve in water. We can say the metals that cannot dissolve in water. So if we talk about the solubility of solid substance into water, that can distinguish in soluble and insoluble substance, in which the soluble, that is that material that is dissolved in water, and insoluble means the material that cannot dissolve in water. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. When we talk about the liquid dissolved in a water, when we talk about the liquid, the solubility of liquid dissolve in water, not solid, it is liquid that dissolve in water, then we can easily separate the solubility, that is some are miscible and some are immiscible substance. Miscible and some are immiscible substance. So what is the meaning of miscible? The liquid that can easily dissolve in water. Very simple definition of this miscible liquids, that the liquids that can easily dissolve in water. Okay, in which we can say that the lemon juice can easily dissolve in water. Okay, the alcohol that can easily dissolve in water, the honey that can easily dissolve in water. So these are the miscible liquids that can easily dissolve in water. And what about the immiscible liquids? Immiscible liquids are not dissolved in water. Simply we can say that the oils that cannot dissolve in water. So in which we can say that diesel that cannot dissolve in water, coconut oil that also cannot dissolve in water. So these are the liquids that are called immiscible liquids. Okay, I hope this is clear to you, that what is miscible and what is immiscible liquids. So coming to our next topic, that is roughness. What is the meaning of roughness? The surface of some materials are rough. Some materials have rough surfaces and some materials have smooth surfaces, in which if we talk about this whiteboard, the surface of this whiteboard is smooth. And what about the rocks, what about the sandpaper, and what about the barks of the tree? These are the barks of the tree, the sandpaper and the rock. These are the rough surfaces that can be, we can say that the rough surface. And what about the smooth surface? We can say the surface of whiteboard, the surface of flowers, or the petals of flowers. Okay, the glass sheets. Okay, these are some smoother surface that can be we call smooth. Okay, and what about the flotation or sinking in water? Flotation and sinking of water. Sinking means to sink, the material that can sink in the water, and float means something that can float on the water. So what are the factors that can easily distinguish, we can easily distinguish that some materials can float on the water and sink on the water? So it's all about the density. What is density? Density means the mass per unit volume. If we talk about little bit this area, this volume, that we can say that if we have some in this space, we have some this volume, and what the amount of matter in this volume, that is called its density. If the amount of mass in this particular space is very much, if the amount of substance in this particular space is very much, then we can say that it is denser. We can say that it's denser. And if the amount of matter in this particular space is lesser, that can be say that we can say that it is less denser. So if we talk about materials like iron and wood, so we can easily say that the density of iron is much more than the density of wood. So the wood can float on the water and iron can sink in the water. But here one condition is must be implemented, in which if the surface area of iron is bigger, suppose we have a metal ship, like a very big ship, then ship can float because it has a very bigger surfaces, so it can float. Okay, but here one more thing is very clear, that a small pin and small needle of iron is easily can sink. So here you can study and you will study in your higher class, then why a small pin can easily sink in the water, but a very big ship cannot sink in the water, that can float on the water. Why? What are the reason behind it? So this is all about the flotation and sinking in water. And what about the transparency? Transparency. What is the meaning of transparency? If we talk about the transparency, then we will study about three things, in which the first one is transparent. What are the transparent materials? What are the transparent materials? The materials by which and through which light can easily pass and we can see them, we can see through them easily. That is called transparent material. We can see through them clearly and the light can pass through them easily. That is called transparent material. Transparent material. And what are the examples of transparent materials? In which clean water, not dirty water, clean water, that is considered as transparent material. So next is clean air, not dirty air and smoky air, not. So we can say that air, clean water, these are the transparent materials. And what about the next transparency, that is translucent object or translucent materials? Translucent. What about the translucent material? Simply we can say that if the light go through some materials partially and we can see them, if some materials, if we can see them very partially through them, we can see them partially, we can see them very partially through them, that is called translucent material. So what is the definition? The definition is, if some object and some material is translucent, then this is very possible that the light can pass through them partially and we can see through them partially. That is called translucent object. Then we can say that the butter paper are translucent, in which oiled paper are also translucent, and frosted glass also translucent objects or materials. After that, what about the third transparency, that is opaque? Opaque substance. What about the opaque substance? This is very easy, that we can't see through them. Something like stone, okay, like wall, like any other, like bamboo, we cannot see through them, like stone, these are the substance in which through we cannot see through them. Okay, so what about the opaque substance? The light cannot go through them, cannot go through them. That is called opaque substance. We can't see through them. That is called opaque substance, in which the stone, the wall, all are the opaque substances. I hope these are clear to you. And after that, we will discuss the next properties of material, like conduction of heat, conduction of electricity, and attraction towards the magnet, in which the first is attraction towards the magnet. Some materials, like metals, in which iron, cobalt, and nickel, these are the materials that magnets attract them. So these materials can called by us that magnetic substance. So what are the magnetic substance? Magnetic substance, the substance they can attracted by the magnets, that is called magnetic substance, in which we can say that iron, cobalt, and nickel, these are the magnetic substance. And some substances that cannot attracted by the magnets, that are called non-magnetic substance. Simply non-magnetic substance or materials, we can say that also, in which the stone that cannot attracted by the magnet, in which wood that cannot attracted by the magnet, copper, this is also the example of the substance that cannot attracted by the magnet. So this is about the topic in which attraction towards the magnet is involved. And the another property of material is conduction of heat. What about the conduction of heat? We can say that some materials are conductors and some materials are insulators. Insulators. What about the conductors and what about the insulators? The substances or the materials in which the heat can pass through them easily. Very simple. The iron are the conductors. Iron are the conductors. Copper are the conductors. Aluminium are the conductors. Usually metals are the conductors, and graphite is a non-metal, is also a conductor of heat. Here iron, copper, normally the materials that is considered as metals are conductors, okay, in which through them heat can easily pass through them. After that, some insulator also considered. What about the insulators? The materials which through them the heat cannot pass, that is called insulators, in which wood, plastic, rubber are considered as insulators. And what about the conduction of electricity? What about the conduction of electricity? That is called also insulator and conductors. That is, which the substance which through them the electricity can easily pass, that is called conductors, in which the metals are usually the conductors of electricity. But graphite is a non-metal and it is also conduct the electricity. And some insulators also there, that is wood, that is rubber, the plastics are not the conductors, they are the insulators of electricity. So this is all about the properties of material, and the last topic of this chapter is grouping of the materials. What about the grouping of the materials? Grouping of the materials. What about the grouping? That things together on the basis of certain similarities of the properties is called classification. What about the classification? What is the definition of classification? That grouping things together on the basis of certain similarities and similar properties is called classification. And why we separate the things, why we group the things, that we group the things, we separate the things to save our time, to know about the things. So, and materials can be of different sizes, can be different shapes, and they are many of them living and many of them are non-living. So grouping of materials, what are the bases that we perform to grouping the materials to their properties? What about the properties? The shape, the size, the color, the texture, the taste. These are the very much wider range to classify the things, to group the things. We can put our pens, put our copies, put our notebooks, the books are different things. Why? To save our time, to look different, to look good. So this is all about this topic, this lecture and this chapter. If you have any query, any question, please ask, and I hope all things are clear to you. Till then, bye bye.